Hey kids, it's Mrs. Compton, and today we're starting off with a what do you know? I hope this is a little harder than you think it's going to be in the beginning. So I want everybody to hit pause right now, and I want you to think about all the things that you could figure out about this number line. All right, hit pause. Okay, so I'm going to take some guesses as to what you thought about. So maybe you looked at this and you said that there were 10 tick lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, to get to this number. So there were 10 tick lines to get from the 0 to the 1/10. And maybe you even said, I know how to say that number, that's 1/10. And then there were another 10 tick lines to get to the 2/10. So from here to here, there were 20 tick lines. Did anybody try to figure out the value of each tick line? So maybe you're trying to figure out the value and you're like, well, I don't really know. Well, this 1/10, maybe you remember, is the same as a dime. I don't know if this is going to stick. It did, yay! So it's the same as a dime, right? So you could also think to yourself, a dime would be written like that, with a dollar sign in the front. Guys, I cannot stop my brain from thinking with dollar signs. I'm just going to throw it in there and then take it off because it's actually not really supposed to be there, but hey, why not? Okay, so maybe then you thought, well, if that is worth 1 dime, then this would be worth 2 dimes, which is the same as 20 cents. Throw a dollar sign in there, good to go, right? So maybe you thought about that. If you thought about this, could it help you figure out each one of these tick lines? See, that's where it gets a little hard, right? If this is worth barely anything, then what must each of these be worth? Oh, wait a minute. We said that there were 10 tick lines from here to here. Ha, now that is helping me. Because now if I know that each tick line, or there are 10 tick lines and this is worth a dime, then this must be worth what? From here to here. A penny. So this must be 1/10, right? Or made a mistake. It can't be that. That's that. So I can't write a penny like that. But you know what? It's a common error. I'm glad I made that in front of you. All right, so I have to write a penny in the hundredths column. Remember, we have our ones, and then we have our decimal. That means less than ones coming. So then we get tenths, and then after that, it's hundredths. Okay, so I have to write my penny in the hundredths column because a penny is worth 1/100th of a dollar. So if I put that there, it would be a 0, a decimal, a 0, and a 1. That's what I have to write right there. So 0, decimal, 0, 1. That's 1/100th. So then this would be 200ths, 300ths, 400ths, 500ths, 600ths, 700ths, 800ths, 900ths. 10/100ths is the same as, actually I can hear that fraction. 10/100ths is the same as 1/10. Maybe you figured that as well. So these are all equivalent to each other. Maybe you even thought about all of these as pennies, right? So if that's 1 cent, this is 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents, so on, right? Let's see, what else would you have figured out? I'm sure there's tons more. Okay, so maybe over here you decided to put 20 1/100ths. So this would be 20 cents out of 100 cents, right? So 20 1/100ths. Or you could also think about it as just 2 out of 10 dimes that would make $1. And this would be 0/10ths over here and 0/100ths. See? Money is just so helpful in fractions and decimals. I can't believe how useful it's become to me. So this right here is our 10 cents. Each hop is 1 cent here. 1 cent. 1 cent. This is 10 cents, right? So there's so many good things that we can learn from this number line. Okay, I'm going to stop guessing now, and now I want to take you on to this. So we can actually, oh, you know what? I lied. I want to do one more thing with you before we move on from our number line. True story. I think we should place a number on the number line. So where would this number go on the number line? So first, let's practice reading it. We have a 0 in the ones place, a 1 in the tenths place, and a 5 in the hundredths place. And we would read it as 15 hundredths. Whatever the last column is what we say. Okay, so where do you think that would go? I want you to find the spot on the number line. Find it with your eyes. All right, I'm going to start at the 0, and I want you to tell me when to stop. Okay, you can just yell, stop. All right, here we go. Do I miss it? Oh my goodness. Okay, real quick. Stop! Right there, right? Okay, now maybe you saw there was a 10 hundredths, 15 hundredths, 20 hundredths, so it makes sense to go right between. I want to know though, if I take off this 0 in the back and I turn it into 1/10, and I take this one off and I change it to 2/10, does that number move locations or is it going to stay right there? It's going to stay right there, right? This does not change value. It's just a matter of now it's a dime, now it's 10 pennies, now it's 2 dimes, now it's 20 pennies. It's worth the same thing. You can go buy something at the store for the same amount, right? So you can actually see this 1/10 is less than 15 hundredths, but this is the tricky one right here. This 2/10 is actually worth more than 15 hundredths, right? Even though, like, if you were just thinking about 15 on its own, 15 wholes is greater than 2 wholes, but in this case, that's just pretty small. All right, so now we're on to the next part that I was going to do, and we're back. Okay, so we've got this right here. I want you to look at the pictures, see what I have. I also want to make sure you're able to correctly read the numbers. So this is 18 out of how many shaded in? Sorry, I know this is kind of crooked. 18 out of 100, right? So we would say this number, 18 hundredths. 18 hundredths. This is 2 out of 10 shaded in. So we'd say 2/10. All right, so I want you to compare using greater than, less than, or equal. And here is 18 hundredths greater than, less than, or equal to 2/10. All right, so let's check that out. We've got 1 whole tenth, so that would be like a dime, and then 8 pennies, or 8 hundredths filled in. And in this one, we have 2 whole tenths filled in. So which one would be greater? And the answer in this case would be 2/10, right? Even though it doesn't really look like it at first glance, this one has a greater value. There's more shaded. And also, I could just put a 0 back there and remind myself, I could think about it as 20 hundredths. 2 dimes, 20 pennies. Same thing. Keep thinking money, you guys. Think money. All right, kids, I'll see you next time.